The first sound is metal against skin. A chair scrapes. A door slams. And a voice, cold and certain, and whispers, "You'll never be anything more than a woman who forgot her place." Captain Reed presses Dr. Lena Carter's face against a steel table. Blood stains the paper that carries Judge Harlow's signature, the warrant that will ruin her life. He splashes a cup of ice water across her face like he's washing away her dignity. "Consider this your final lesson, Professor." But Lena doesn't beg. She tastes iron. She breathes slowly. And behind those calm eyes, she's counting seconds, cameras, and mistakes. Because what Reed doesn't know, and what none of them know, is that Lena Carter doesn't break. She calculates 3 high-ranking officers, 1 compromised judge. A scheme meant to silence a woman whose research exposes how deeply corruption runs in their department. They think they've won. They've only built their own trap. 48 hours from now, the trial will begin, the one meant to erase her. They think she's finished, but Lena has already started the clock on their destruction. Every bruise, every insult, every false charge will soon become evidence. And when the curtain falls, she won't be the one in chains. City Hall stands tall against the morning sky, golden light pouring through thick glass windows. The air smells like fresh coffee and fear of headlines. Mayor Ruiz, the city's first Latina mayor, pushes a heavy folder across her desk. Inside, photographs, reports, names. 15 officers, 3 judges. Decades of lives shattered under false convictions. Among them, Lena's younger brother, Jason, 15 years stolen from him for a crime he never committed. Ruiz looks tired but determined. "Dr. Carter, you've been exposing the truth about this city's justice system for years. You've earned enemies, but you've also earned trust. The position of police commissioner is yours. If you want it," the words hang in the air. Commissioner, the power to rebuild everything they destroyed. Lena traces the seal on the folder, a symbol of power that has never protected her family. She feels Jason's face staring back from the documents. He lost half his life to the lies of men like Reed and judges like Harlow. She looks up. "I'll take it," she says quietly, "but not yet." Ruiz frowns. "Why wait?" "Because I want to finish my research first," Lena answers. "I'm documenting every case tied to Reed and his officers. If they suspect anything, they'll retaliate," Ruiz interrupts. "They won't," Lena replies, calm as a surgeon before the first incision. "They'll see what they expect, a harmless academic poking around for data. Let them underestimate me." The mayor leans forward. "And if they come after you?" Lena gives a small, razor-thin smile. "Then I'll have proof. Every move they make will bury them deeper." She signs the appointment letter. The pen feels heavy, and heavier than justice, heavier than anger. Reed and his allies believe they're untouchable. They're about to learn that even the untouchable bleed. 2 days later, the Boston Justice Department hums with fluorescent light and arrogance. Officers move through the halls like they own the air. Dr. Lena Carter walks in with her university ID clipped neatly to her blazer. Her steps echo, calm, measured, every sound, every glance, and recorded in memory. At the front desk, the receptionist barely looks up. "3rd floor," she says flatly. Lena thanks her and takes the stairs. She prefers the view from above. Captain Reed is waiting with a smirk that never reaches his eyes. "Dr. Carter," he says, extending a hand. "The department appreciates your interest in our work." His handshake is meant to intimidate. It doesn't. "I believe transparency strengthens law enforcement," Lena replies. "Transparency," Reed repeats, like it's a foreign word. He leads her into a conference room where 2 other men wait, Detective Moore and Internal Affairs Director Colin Blake. Both look like men used to being obeyed. Blake's badge shines too bright. His handshake is crushing. "Academics often misunderstand police procedure," he says. "And police officers often misunderstand justice," Lena answers, smiling. They exchange practiced laughter, but the air is tight. She opens her laptop. "May I record our conversation for research purposes?" Blake's eyes flick to Reed. "Department policy doesn't allow recordings without authorization." "Of course," Lena says, closing the laptop. "Then I'll take notes." The interview begins like a performance. She asks about case assignments, evidence handling, clearance rates. They recite answers like actors reading from the same script. But when she brings up sentencing patterns, particularly in Judge Harlow's court, the mask slips. "I noticed unusually harsh sentences for first-time offenders in your division," she says. Reed's voice tightens. "Statistics can be misleading." "I agree," Lena replies evenly. "That's why I'd like to review the case files myself." Blake leans back. "Those files are restricted. I've already been cleared by the district attorney," she says, sliding an official letter toward them. The room goes silent. Reed stares at the paper like it might bite. "We'll need to verify this," he says slowly. "Take your time," Lena answers, closing her notebook. "I'm in no rush." Outside the room, a young officer waits. Evan Brooks, mid-20s, clean uniform, restless eyes. Blake introduces him like a warning. "Officer Brooks will assist you for the rest of your visit." The word assist means watch. Lena knows it. So does he. They walk the halls together. At first, his answers are mechanical. "Yes, ma'am." "No, ma'am." But curiosity wins. "You don't sound like most professors," he says. She smiles. "How many professors have you met?" He hesitates. "Not many." They stop by a framed photograph, Captain Reed receiving a commendation. "Big case," Evan says quietly. "Drug lord. Multiple murders." "Impressive," Lena murmurs. "And not one overturned appeal?" Evan pauses. "None that I know of." Her eyes catch the reflection of the camera in the frame, watching them both. She knows every word is being recorded. She plans to use that too. Then the door bursts open. Reed storms out, face flushed with anger. He raises his voice for the hallway to hear. "Your research is biased, Doctor. You're cherry-picking cases to make us look corrupt." "I'm following evidence, Captain," she says, calm as glass. "That's what good investigators do." "You're out of line," he snaps. Blake appears beside him. "Your request for files is denied. Ongoing investigations." "That contradicts the DA's authorization," she replies. "Take it up with them," Reed says. "You're done here." Evan shifts uneasily. Reed notices. "Escort her out. Make sure she signs out properly." Inside the elevator, silence. The polished steel doors show their reflections. One woman unbroken, one man uncertain. 3 years in the force? Lena asks. He nods. "Yes, ma'am. Do you still believe in the oath you took?" He looks up. "Every word of it." She hands him her card. "If you ever want to talk about that oath, you know where to find me." The elevator dings. Reed watches from the lobby as they exit. His phone is already at his ear. "We have a problem," he mutters. She knows too much. That night, rain falls hard over the city. The streets glisten like broken glass. Inside the university's criminal justice building, the janitor's clock ticks toward midnight. Somewhere above, 3 men in maintenance uniforms walk the hall with heavy toolboxes and forged work orders. They move like they belong, but none of them do. 9:42 p.m. The hallway camera catches them entering Dr. Lena Carter's office. They cut the power for 30 seconds, just long enough. When the lights return, the office looks untouched, but it isn't. They've left poison behind. 2 hours later, Lena returns, umbrella dripping, shoes silent against the floor. She feels it instantly and something is wrong. The air smells faintly of chemicals. The papers on her desk sit at the wrong angle. The tiniest scrape on the wood near her bookshelf catches her eye. She doesn't panic. She notices. Her eyes drift to the corner bookshelf where she installed a hidden camera weeks ago. She walks to her desk, opens a drawer, and freezes. A plastic bag filled with white powder rests on her research notes. Beside it, a folder stamped, "Confidential City Police." Evidence of crimes she's never touched, files she's never seen. Her breath slows. They want her reaction to look guilty. She doesn't touch a thing. Instead, she picks up her phone. "This is Dr. Carter in the Criminal Justice Department. I need to report a break-in and planted evidence. It takes less than 5 minutes for help to arrive." Too fast. The first badge through the door is Captain Reed's. He carries a search warrant with Judge Harlow's signature. "Anonymous tip," he says, voice dripping with satisfaction. "About stolen police files and narcotics." Behind him, cameras flash as officers begin their choreographed search. They find what they planted. Every move rehearsed. Every accusation ready. "Dr. Carter, you're under arrest for possession of controlled substances and theft of confidential police documents." Reed snaps handcuffs around her wrists with extra pressure, watching for fear. But Lena doesn't give him any. "You have the right to remain silent," he begins. She meets his eyes. "So do you," she says softly. The walk to the patrol car becomes theater. Students whisper. Faculty stare. Professor Carter arrested. Drugs in her office. Police files. Reed makes sure every phone records it. He wants the story written before the truth has a chance. At the precinct, the air smells of sweat and metal polish. Fingerprint ink stains her skin. A camera flashes for the mugshot. Reed watches from the doorway like a proud hunter posing with his kill. She doesn't look away. In the corner of the room, a young officer freezes when he sees her. Officer Evan Brooks, the one who walked her out earlier. He looks down quickly, but not fast enough. Their eyes meet, and for the first time, he feels the weight of his badge. Close to midnight, Judge Harlow arrives in person. Unusual, suspicious, and telling. She signs more warrants without even reading them. "Keep her contained until the hearing," she orders. "No bail," Reed adds. "Flight risk." "Potential evidence destruction," Harlow echoes. The cell door closes behind Lena with a heavy clang. Concrete, steel, silence. Down the hall, glasses clink. Reed and Blake open champagne. "To justice," Blake laughs. Reed smirks. To the end of her career. They think the game is over. But in that quiet cell, Lena Carter lies back and stares at the ceiling. Her mind is already moving pieces on the board. She's memorized faces, times, badge numbers. And on one hidden cloud server, a camera file waits, showing 3 men in fake uniforms planting the very evidence used against her. At 3 a.m, Officer Brooks sits alone in the evidence room, replaying the footage of her arrest. The timeline scratches at his instincts. Anonymous tip at 10:37 p.m., warrant signed at 10:42, 5 minutes for judicial approval, a process that usually takes hours. Something's wrong. He types her brother's name into the system, Jason Carter. The file appears. Drug possession. Felony conviction. 15 years served. Prosecuted by Colin Blake, now Director of Internal Affairs. Arrested by Captain Reed, then a sergeant. Signed by Judge Harlow. Brooks scrolls through the appeals. Everyone denied. All by Harlow. All citing sufficient evidence. He closes the file, heart pounding. It's the same playbook. Same players. Same lies. The precinct is silent except for the buzz of fluorescent lights. Brooks stands, takes a deep breath, and walks toward the holding cells. The night guard waves him through, barely glancing up. Inside, Lena sits on the narrow cot, wide awake. "Officer Brooks," she says calmly, as if she expected him. "Working late?" He hesitates. "Just paperwork." Her eyes shift to the camera in the corner. The red light is off. "Maintenance must have missed a spot," she murmurs. He steps closer. "I looked into your brother's case. Did you find it educational?" "I found it familiar." They speak quietly, voices low enough to vanish under the hum of the lights. "Same judge. Same lead officer. Same miraculous discovery of evidence," Brooks says. "Quite the coincidence," she replies. "Do you believe in coincidences, Officer Brooks?" "Less and less," he answers. He leans closer. "The department isn't what I thought it was." "Few systems are," she says softly. "The question is whether you want to help fix it." He glances down the hall, then back at her. "If I can get caught helping you, it could end my career. Or it could save it," she replies. He tells her about missing seizure funds, cash that disappears between arrests and booking. She listens. Each fact becomes another string in her invisible web. "You'll need proof," she says finally. "Then tell me where to look." "Dashboard camera from Patrol Unit 37, May 15th, she whispers. "And the financial records for Reed's task force. 2 years back." Brooks nods slowly. "I'll find them." As he turns to leave, she calls out softly, "Why risk everything for me?" He stops. "Because I remember your brother," he says. "He used to tutor kids at my community center. He didn't deserve what happened to him." She smiles faintly. "Then you already know why I can't stop." The night guard passes as Brooks raises his voice, pretending. "Confessing now would make things easier for everyone, Dr. Carter." He walks away, leaving behind a promise disguised as procedure. In that cell, Lena exhales. The first piece is moved. The game has begun. Dawn creeps through the narrow window. She hasn't slept. She's building timelines in her head, who, when, how. The cell door opens. A woman in a sharp suit steps inside. "My name is Maya Patel. The mayor sent me." Lena's eyes narrow slightly. "Tell her I'm proceeding as planned." They just moved faster than expected. Patel slides documents across the table. "Bail hearing at 11. House arrest. You'll be out today." "And my research materials?"
"Secure," Patel whispers.
Your student David Kim backed them up remotely before the police arrived. Lena nods once. "Good. Then let's make sure Reed thinks he's still winning." Across the precinct, Reed leans back in his chair, sipping coffee. "Everything's lining up," Blake says. "By next week, her name will be Poison." Reed smirks. "Perfect." But down the hall, Officer Brooks is already logged into the database, searching for the files she mentioned. And what he's about to find will turn their victory into their downfall. The precinct hums with its usual morning chaos. Phones ringing, paperwork piling, officers laughing about last night's arrest, unaware that the foundation beneath them has already begun to crack. Officer Brooks keeps his head down, pretending to type reports. But his monitor shows something else entirely. He's digging into restricted files. He searches for Unit 37, May 15th. The footage loads slowly, a grainy dash cam video. He leans in closer. Captain Reed's car. Internal Affairs Director Blake standing beside him in a dimly lit parking garage. Judge Harlow steps out of a black sedan. They exchange words, then cash changes hands. A thick envelope. Reed hands it over. Harlow nods, signs a folder, and walks away. Brooks stares at the screen, every muscle tight. He downloads the footage to an encrypted flash drive, erases the search trail, and shuts down the terminal. When he looks up, Reed is standing across the room, eyes cold and curious. "You look tense, Brooks. Everything all right?" "Yes, sir. Just catching up on reports." Reed studies him for a beat too long, then smiles that predator's smile. "Good. Keep it that way." That afternoon, Lena sits in her living room with an ankle monitor blinking faintly around her leg. Across the street, a police cruiser is parked, surveillance obvious and deliberate. She opens her laptop, fully aware that they're tracking her keystrokes. She types anyway, crafting an email labeled Legal Defense Strategy. The subject line is bait. Every word of it, her phone buzzes. A message from David Kim. Cloud backup restored. Analysis in progress. She replies with a single word. Perfect. Across town, Brooks meets a nervous man at a quiet coffee shop. David Kim recognizes him instantly where the officer Lena mentioned. Neither says a word. When Brooks leaves, there's a flash drive in his jacket pocket and no one saw the exchange. That night, Lena receives the file. She watches the footage. Reed, Blake, Harlow, the envelope. She exhales slowly. The proof is there, but not enough yet. She needs the money trail. She texts Brooks through an encrypted channel. Search for transactions linked to Horizon Consulting. Then cross-check with Harlow's husband's financial disclosures. Meanwhile, in the mayor's office, Mayor Ruiz watches the countdown on her desk clock. 36 hours until the public announcement of the new commissioner. Her assistant reads the morning news aloud. No mention of Dr. Carter's arrest. Reed is keeping it quiet. He's building his case before taking it public. Ruiz smiles faintly. "A mistake," she murmurs. "The quieter he stays, the louder the fall will be." At dawn, Brooks works in silence. The evidence forms a pattern as clear as daylight. Reed's task force has been funneling confiscated cash through a fake investment company, Horizon Consulting, which then pays consulting fees to Judge Harlow's husband. Blake, with his position in internal affairs, ensures no investigation ever touches them. It's a triangle of power and protection built on lies. Brooks copies everything. Transaction dates, wire transfers, warrant logs. He knows this could end his career. It could also end theirs. By sunrise, his decision is made. He sends everything to Lena through the secure channel. Her reply comes seconds later. "Wait, hold until hearing. Deliver everything when I give the signal." He stares at the message for a long moment, then types back. "Understood." Thursday morning arrives, and the air in the courthouse feels heavier than usual. Reed stands in the hallway, confident and sharp in his pressed uniform. "This'll be quick," he tells Blake. "The judge will crush her motion before it even starts." Blake smirks. "And by noon, her career's a ghost story. But what they don't know is that Judge Harlow isn't presiding today. She's been reassigned, quietly. A new name sits on the docket, Judge Raymond Hale. Known for discipline, honesty, and a hatred of dirty police work. Inside the courtroom, Lena sits beside her attorney, wrists free but reputation still in chains. She looks calm, unbroken. Around her the press whispers. The district attorney adjusts his tie nervously. The session begins. Your Honor, her attorney says, rising. We move for immediate dismissal due to severe procedural violations and corruption in the arresting department. Blake leans toward Reed. What is this? Reed's smile falters. Stall tactic. The attorney continues. We have new evidence that contradicts the official timeline and shows deliberate misconduct. Judge Hale raises an eyebrow. Proceed, footage plays. Campus security cameras showing 3 men entering Lena's office. The timestamps. The warrant's impossible timing. The room shifts. The prosecutor objects. This evidence is incomplete. Then you'll have time to complete it, Judge Hale interrupts. We reconvene tomorrow at 10 a.m. sharp. Reed's jaw tightens. This was supposed to be over in minutes. Instead, he feels the ground beginning to tilt. Outside the courtroom, the crowd murmurs. Reporters scribble notes. Lena steps into the hall, and standing by the water fountain is a man she hasn't seen in 15 years. Jason Carter, older, thinner, but still carrying that same quiet fire. They meet halfway, no words for a moment, just the weight of everything that's passed between them. You're here, she whispers. I promised I'd be, he says. She squeezes his hand. They're watching. Let them see what strength looks like. He nods, straightens his tie, the same one their mother kept all those years he was gone. Officer Brooks approaches with a plain envelope. Your attorney asked me to deliver these, he says. Inside, everything. Bank records, dashcam footage, case files. She meets his eyes. You did well. He nods once. Tomorrow justice gets its turn. As the Carters leave the courthouse together, Reed watches from the steps, his confidence thinning. We need to shut this down, he mutters to Blake. Blake's voice trembles for the first time. It might already be too late. That night, Lena sits by the window of her apartment, city lights flickering like restless stars. Tomorrow morning, the courtroom won't just be a place of law, it'll be a battlefield, and for the first time in 15 years, she's holding every weapon. Morning light filters through the courthouse windows as the clock strikes 10. The seats are full, reporters whisper. Officers crowd the back like spectators waiting for a fight. Captain Reed sits stiff beside Blake, both pretending to be calm, both failing. Across the aisle, Lena Carter sits quietly with her attorney, her posture steady, her gaze unbroken. Judge Hale enters, robes flowing, expression unreadable. The room falls into silence. This court is now in session, he declares. Lena's attorney stands. Your Honor, before we proceed with the charges, we request permission to introduce new evidence related to procedural misconduct in this case. Reed leans forward. This again, he mutters. Judge Hale's eyes cut toward him. Captain, if I wanted commentary, I'd ask for it. Reed's jaw locks. The attorney continues. We have documented proof that the search warrant used to arrest my client was signed by Judge Harlow, just 5 minutes after receiving an anonymous tip. Standard review requires a minimum of 3 hours. We also have video evidence contradicting the police timeline. The screen lights up. Footage from campus security plays. The 3 fake maintenance workers entering Lena's office. The timestamps. The silence in the room is suffocating. Blake's face pales. Reed clenches his fists. Judge Hale leans forward. Who authorized this warrant? The signature belongs to Judge Harlow, Your Honor. The attorney replies. Where is she? She'll appear tomorrow. The attorney answers smoothly. We request a 24-hour continuance to present additional testimony and supporting evidence. Granted, Hale says. Court will reconvene tomorrow at 10 a.m. The gavel falls. The sound echoes like thunder. Outside, the press surges forward. Cameras flash. Reporters shout questions. Reed pushes past them, face tight. No comment. Lena exits behind her attorney, calm, collected. She spots her brother Jason waiting by the courthouse steps. He opens his arms. For a moment, the world narrows to 2 people holding everything they lost. I watched, he says quietly. They didn't see it coming. They will, she replies. Tomorrow they'll see everything. That night in the precinct, Reed storms into Blake's office. She's playing us, he snarls. That footage, that timing, someone fed it to her. Blake rubs his temple. We need to find the leak. Reed slams a folder onto the desk. It's Brooks. It has to be. He's been off lately. Running searches he shouldn't. Blake's voice hardens. Then deal with him before tomorrow. Downstairs, Brooks sits in the evidence room again, heart pounding. He copies final documents onto a fresh drive. Financial records, wire transfers, messages between Reed and Blake about Judge Harlow. Each line feels heavier than the last. He hears footsteps and snaps the laptop shut. Reed stands at the doorway. "You've been busy," Reed says. "Just wrapping up reports." "Funny," Reed replies. "I didn't assign you any." Brooks meets his stare. "Then I guess I'm ahead of schedule." Reed steps closer, his voice low. "Be careful who you think you're helping, officer. Loyalty is everything in this department." "Loyalty," Brooks repeats. "To what? To who?" Reed's hand twitches, but he doesn't respond. He turns and walks away. The air behind him feels heavier than before. In her apartment, Lena reviews everything again. Evidence chain, witness lists, backup drives. Each piece fits together like clockwork. She opens her phone to a new message. "Everything ready. Tomorrow, 10 a.m. Brooks." Her fingers hover over the keyboard before she replies. Wait for the signal. Morning comes with rain. Gray skies press low over the courthouse. Reporters gather early, sensing blood in the water. Reed walks in, flanked by 2 officers. Blake follows, pretending confidence he no longer feels. The air crackles with tension. Judge Hale takes his seat. "Counselor," he says to Lena's attorney, "you may proceed." "Your Honor, before addressing the charges, the defense calls Officer Evan Brooks to the stand." Reed's head snaps up. "Objection," he shouts. "Overruled," Hale says calmly. "Officer Brooks, take the stand." Brooks stands, his uniform immaculate but his pulse visible in his neck. He swears the oath, then faces the courtroom. "Officer Brooks," the attorney begins, "were you present during the investigation of Dr. Carter?" "Yes, ma'am." "Did you observe any irregularities?" Brooks nods once. "The warrant for her arrest was signed within 5 minutes of an anonymous tip. I reviewed the logs myself. It's impossible without pre-approval." A ripple moves through the room. The attorney steps closer. "And did you find anything else?" Brooks glances at Reed, then at the judge. "Yes. I found video footage showing Captain Reed, Director Blake, and Judge Harlow meeting in a parking garage on May 15th. Money was exchanged." Reed half rises. "That's a lie." "Sit down, Captain," Judge Hale warns. Brooks continues, voice steady now. "The footage came from Patrol Unit 37's dashboard camera. It's time-stamped, verified, and stored in department archives." The attorney clicks a remote. The courtroom monitors come to life. The video plays. Reed and Blake on screen, shaking hands with Harlow. An envelope passes between them. Gasps fill the room. "Your Honor," the attorney says, "we also have financial records connecting these transactions to Horizon Consulting, owned by Judge Harlow's husband." Blake's composure cracks. He whispers something frantic to his lawyer. Reed stares ahead, jaw twitching. Then the door at the back of the courtroom opens. Judge Harlow steps in, pale, shaken. Her attorney follows. "I understand I've been called to testify," she says, voice trembling. Every camera turns. Every whisper dies. "Judge Harlow," the defense attorney begins softly. "Did you sign the warrant for Dr. Carter's arrest?" "Yes." "Did you review the evidence beforehand?" "No." "Why not?" Harlow's hands tremble. "Because I was being blackmailed." A stunned silence floods the room. "By whom?" "Director Blake. He threatened to expose private photographs of my daughter unless I cooperated. He said I'd lose everything if I refused." Lena doesn't move. She just watches as years of lies start to collapse. "And Captain Reed?" Harlow nods, eyes glistening. "He was the enforcer. He carried out the framing. Every time Blake needed someone silenced, Reed handled it." Judge Hale leans back, face grave. "You understand these are confessions of criminal misconduct?" "Yes, Your Honor, I'm prepared to cooperate fully." Reed lunges to his feet. "She's lying." "They're all lying." Federal agents step from the gallery, surrounding him before he can reach her. "Captain Reed," Hale says, "you are hereby remanded into custody pending formal charges." Blake tries to stand, but 2 more agents move in. The sound of handcuffs snapping shut echoes like justice itself. The gavel falls again. "All charges against Dr. Lena Carter are dismissed," Hale announces. "And a full federal investigation will commence immediately." Gasps, cheers, tears. The room explodes into chaos. Through it all, Lena stands still, eyes locked on Reed as he's led past her. He glares at her with fury and disbelief. "You'll regret this," he spits. She meets his gaze. "You already do." Judge Hale looks toward Lena. "Dr. Carter, you are free to go." But she doesn't move. Not yet. From the side door, Mayor Ruiz steps in with a small envelope in her hands. She speaks clearly for every microphone in the room. "In light of today's revelations and the bravery it took to expose them, I would like to announce new leadership for the Boston Police Department." She turns to Lena. "Dr. Lena Carter has accepted the position of police commissioner, effective immediately." For a moment, even the reporters forget to breathe. Reed stops struggling. Realization floods his face. The woman he tried to destroy now owns the badge that commands his entire department. Lena accepts the envelope quietly. Inside, a silver badge glints under the courtroom lights. She looks up at the officers still standing, stunned and speechless. "Clean your house," she says. Jason steps forward, tears threatening. She hugs him hard. 15 years of pain finally begin to loosen their grip. Brooks stands at attention near the bench. She turns to him. "Lieutenant Brooks," she says, using the rank he hasn't even been offered yet. "I have a new task force to build. Integrity starts today. Are you ready?" He nods, voice steady. "Yes, Commissioner." As Reed and Blake are escorted out in cuffs, the cameras flash again. But this time, the story being written isn't about a professor's downfall. It's about a reckoning. The sun rises over the city like a sigh of relief. For the first time in years, Boston's skyline feels lighter. The courthouse steps are still swarming with reporters, but the noise fades behind Lena as she walks toward the waiting car. Jason keeps pace beside her, his shoulders straighter than they've been since he was a teenager. Neither of them speaks at first. The silence is sacred. When they finally reach the car, Jason laughs quietly, disbelief laced with wonder. "You really did it." Lena opens the door, glancing back toward the courthouse where Reed and Blake were taken away. "No," she says. "We did it. You, me, and everyone who refused to forget what justice was supposed to mean." Inside, Mayor Ruiz waits. "Congratulations, Commissioner Carter." The words still feel strange, heavy with responsibility. Lena shakes her head. "Don't congratulate me yet. There's a lot to clean up." Ruiz smiles. "Then let's start with the department." That afternoon, the Boston Police Headquarters looks different. The once proud building now carries an air of quiet reckoning. Officers stand at attention as Lena steps inside for the first time as commissioner. Every conversation halts. Every pair of eyes turns. She walks through the halls that once hid corruption and fear. The same hall where Reed mocked her. The same corridor where Blake pretended to care about justice. Each step feels like rewriting history. Lieutenant Brooks joins her near the elevators, holding a file. "First update, ma'am. We've identified 27 cases under review. 11 already have motions filed to vacate convictions." Lena takes the folder, flipping through names and faces. "These people deserve more than just freedom," she says. "They deserve answers," Brooks nods. "We're working with the DA's office. 3 officers have agreed to cooperate. 6 more are under investigation." "And the judges?" she asks. "Judge Harlow resigned this morning. She's testifying for federal prosecutors. She's naming everyone involved." Lena exhales, half relief, half exhaustion. Good. The truth deserves a voice even from those who helped bury it. They step into the elevator. Brooks presses the button for the top floor. The ride is silent but not empty. When the doors open, sunlight spills into the commissioner's office, the same one Blake once ruled from like a fortress. The air feels cleaner now, brighter. On the wall hangs a single framed photo, Jason smiling at his new job interview. Brooks places another file on her desk. "Here's the latest integrity report." It's not pretty. Lena opens it. "It's honest," she says. "That's a start." He lingers by the door. "It's strange being here," he admits. "A month ago, I thought I was serving justice. I didn't realize I was helping the people destroying it." She looks up at him. "That's the danger of corruption, Lieutenant. It wears a uniform, too." They leave the office together and walk through the bullpen. Officers rise as they pass. Some salute with pride. Others lower their gaze, unsure of where they stand in this new order. Change has begun, but it will take time. Brooks lowers his voice. "You knew they'd try to frame you. You planned it." She gives a faint smile. "I counted on it." Predictability is a weakness when your enemy underestimates you. You let them think they had power, he says. I let them show their hand, she replies. It was the only way to bring down the whole network. They stop at a window overlooking the city. The rain from the trial day has washed everything clean. Your brother's official exoneration comes through tomorrow, Brooks says quietly. Lena's eyes soften. 15 years too late, but it's a start. They continue toward the training wing. A group of new recruits is gathered in a bright classroom, listening to a senior officer speak. Integrity, he tells them, isn't a motto. It's a choice you make when no one is watching. When Lena steps inside, the room falls silent. The recruits rise automatically. At ease, she says, smiling. I just came to listen. She takes a seat at the back, hands folded, watching faces full of hope and nerves. One young recruit raises her hand. Commissioner, after everything that's happened, how do we rebuild trust with the public? Lena stands slowly, letting the weight of the question settle. Trust, she says, isn't rebuilt with speeches. It's rebuilt one case at a time. One honest report. One fair arrest. One act of decency when no one expects it. It's not fast and it's not easy, but it's worth every step. The room is still. Every word lands. She looks around at them, the future of the department, and adds softly, the badge you wear isn't a symbol of power. It's a promise to protect those who can't protect themselves. Don't break it. Later that evening, Mayor Ruiz visits again with a new report in hand. We finished tracing the corruption network. It reaches further than we thought. 17 officers, 4 judges, multiple departments. Lena glances through the pages. And the FBI? They're launching Operation Clean Sweep next month. Your reform plan inspired it. Other cities want to copy it. Lena smiles faintly. Reform isn't about revenge. It's about rebuilding what greed broke. Ruiz nods. And rebuilding takes people like you. Lena shakes her head. It takes people who won't give up when the system tells them to. I just happen to be stubborn. The two women share a quiet laugh. Then Ruiz adds, your brother's foundation for exonerees is gaining traction. 5 corporate sponsors already. Of course it is, Lena says proudly. Jason's heart was always the better half of mine. Night settles over the city. The headquarters glows softly against the skyline, alive with renewed energy. Lena stands by her office window, watching the lights ripple across the streets. Her reflection stares back, part professor, part commissioner, entirely relentless. Her phone vibrates. A message from Jason. Big day tomorrow. She types back. This time justice will have your name on it. Outside, sirens echo faintly in the distance. Not the sound of fear anymore, but of a city remembering what justice should feel like. Morning breaks clean and quiet. The air carries that rare stillness before history changes. At the courthouse, cameras flash again. But the story is different this time. No handcuffs. No scandal. Just Jason Carter walking into the building beside his sister, the woman who brought a city back to justice. Inside, the clerk reads the final ruling aloud. The conviction of Jason Carter is hereby vacated and expunged. The court finds the original evidence unreliable and the investigation corrupted. Jason exhales shakily, years of bitterness unraveling in a single breath. Lena places a hand over his, steady and proud. The gavel falls not as punishment this time, but as closure. Reporters swarm as they leave the courthouse, shouting questions. Jason stops only once, turning toward the microphones. I lost 15 years, he says, his voice firm but calm. But today isn't about what was taken. It's about what's being rebuilt. He looks at his sister. And I'm proud of who's rebuilding it. Lena smiles, her composure unshaken. This city doesn't need heroes, she says. It needs accountability. It needs people who refuse to stay silent when power gets comfortable. Then she guides her brother through the crowd. Later, back at headquarters, the air feels lighter. Officers move with new purpose. The bullpen buzzes, but not from fear. This time it's from energy. Real work, real reform. The walls that once echoed with arrogance now carry the hum of renewal. Lieutenant Brooks walks in carrying a new integrity report. Commissioner, the DA's office officially reopened 21 cases connected to Reed's task force. 7 more officers are cooperating. 2 just turned state's witness. Lena nods. Good, keep them talking. Every truth we pull from the wreckage helps rebuild this department. Brooks hesitates. The FBI requested your appearance at a national summit next month. They're calling it the Carter Model for Reform. She almost laughs. I didn't build a model. I just refuse to lose. He smiles faintly. Sometimes that's what a model looks like. They walk the halls together, past rooms now filled with training, new recruits, fresh ideas. The department feels alive again, cautious but hopeful. The faces that once looked away from corruption now meet her gaze with respect. In the briefing room, Lena stops before a wall filled with photographs, victims of false arrests, officers dismissed for misconduct, and now, portraits of those cleared and released. Jason's photo stands among them, the word exonerated etched in bold below his name. She studies it for a long moment. He's not just my brother, she says softly. He's proof that systems can fail and still be repaired. Brooks nods. We're not done yet. We never will be, she replies. Justice isn't a finish line. It's a fight you show up for every day. That evening, Lena steps outside onto the steps of headquarters. The sunset bleeds gold over the city. Jason waits by the car, waving. She walks down to him, the badge glinting against her blazer. How was your day, Commissioner? He teases. She smiles. Productive. Yours? He shrugs. 3 new men joined the foundation today. All of them said the same thing. They finally feel seen. That's what matters, she says. They drive through the city in silence for a while. The buildings glow with evening light, the streets busy but peaceful. Jason glances over. Was it worth it? Everything you risked? She looks out the window. Every second. They had to see what it felt like, the fear, the silence, the powerlessness. But what matters isn't their punishment. It's what comes next. Justice? He asks. She nods. Real justice. The kind that doesn't hide behind badges or titles. They stop at a red light. A group of children cross the street in front of them, laughing, their backpacks bouncing. Jason watches them, then whispers, You know, Mom and Dad would be proud. Lena's voice softens. Maybe, but I think they'd be prouder of you for surviving what you did. The light turns green. The car moves forward, steady and unhurried. As the skyline fades in the rearview mirror, Lena closes her eyes for a moment. The weight of her badge presses against her chest, and not a burden but a reminder. Every choice matters. Every lie confronted, every life restored. The city hums around them, alive again. No more planted evidence. No more backroom deals. No more silence mistaken for peace. And somewhere deep in the heart of that city, in a building that once symbolized corruption, a plaque is already being prepared, and not to honor a hero, but to remind everyone who walks through its doors what justice truly costs. Because in the end, Lena Carter didn't just win her case. She changed the rules of the game, and this time justice belonged to everyone.